Hello, and thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's rant is going to be titled, People Don't Realize What Real Freedom is About. And I know I've made an argument and, I have talked about how there's no real, like a real man, a real woman, a real dog, whatever it is, but I think that also depends on the context because something I'm about to talk about is real. And when I mean real, I mean like an actual set definition of something, not like in their opinion. So it's different in this context. But a lot of people don't realize what true freedom is about, what real freedom is about. And, people will say that they're for freedom, but then they want to silence people that they don't agree with. Or, I personally am a supporter of Donald Trump. And right now in America, as we speak, Kamala Harris is running for president for the Democratic side. She's the nominee and she will be running against Donald Trump. And a lot of people that like Donald Trump, like me, I see are silencing people that like Kamala Harris, and they're trying to make it so her supporters don't have a voice, and they're trying to tell them what they're saying is stupid or whatever it is. And that's fine. You have freedom of speech to say that, but people have the freedom to support whoever they want. And it doesn't give you a right to try to silence people who have a differing opinion as yours. A lot of people only have freedom of speech when it supports their own narrative, Oh, you have freedom of speech as long as you like Trump and you agree with the things that I agree with, or you have freedom of speech as long as you like Kamala Harris and liberal leftist views. And if you talk about Republican values or stuff that Republicans believe in, like they want to silence you. That's not what true freedom is. Freedom is about being able to do whatever you want, regardless if someone disagrees with it. They don't try to silence you. And a lot of people's freedom, like I said, it's freedom until you go against their agenda. That's not freedom. And a lot of people act like that. And I try not to be that way because it's not real freedom. And it can be very, very difficult to not be like that because as people, we don't want to hear about things that we don't believe in, If someone is talking about something and we don't agree with it or we don't believe in it, like say someone's talking about gay marriage and you don't believe in it, you have the right to not believe in it or talk about it, but don't try to silence someone else's freedom of speech to speak about it, And it goes with so many different things, You have a right to, say you don't like it or don't agree, but you don't have a right to silence people. And so many different people want to silence people. And I think that's horrible, If someone starts saying something and I don't like it or don't agree, I'll tell them. And I'll probably just stop talking to them or distance myself or block them online. But I'm not going to sit there and tell them that they don't have a right to speak and they don't have a right to say those things because they do. Because I believe in actual freedom. In America, we have freedom, and it's really sad to see these people that like to preach on and on about freedom and how it's so important, but they really don't understand what true freedom's about. They don't practice true freedom, real freedom. And it gets really, really annoying, especially when it comes to an election cycle, when you see all these people that try to silence each other and the left silencing the right, like I said, the right silencing the left. And, it's so hypocritical. And people are very hypocritical. They'll talk about how they don't want their rights being, taken away from them and they don't want their freedom of speech to be taken away. But these people usually like to silence other people, and it's very hypocritical. But that's just how people are, People get really passionate and they try to silence people. But, I try not to be that way, If someone likes a certain political party that I don't like, I'll let them say it. That's their right. And I can agree with you or disagree with you regardless of what you're saying, and we can have a discussion about it. but I'm not going to try to silence you. And if I don't want to hear what you have to say, I'll just remove myself. That's different than silencing someone, because you don't have to hear what someone has to say. Like, you don't have to listen to them, but you don't have a right to silence them. The best way to silence someone is to not listen and and move on, you know? But, I decided to make this because I don't really get too political on here. I usually talk about my own experiences and other stuff. I don't get too political on here, but I had to make this because it's driving me crazy seeing what people say and, people's hypocrisy about, supporting freedom of speech and, not really being for it. And I especially see it nowadays with this election cycle, the 2024 presidential election coming up. I see it so much from either side, and it's just pathetic. But anyways, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rant. Signing out. Have a good one, guys. Goodbye.